Now, overall, I really like this update. I think it's friendlier. I think it's more in line with the Twitter brand, which is just this fun, friendly, happy-go-lucky blue bird. You know, it's a Twitter, it's tweeting, it's fun. I like that they're bringing some of that brand messaging back into just the visual style, which is bringing back that emotion, putting off this fun vibe. I think that's very important in design, is communicating the emotion that you want people to have. And with the bird, with the name Twitter, with the colors that they're using, and now the rounded corners and just the more white space that they're offering, the lighter fonts and some of the bold fonts for hierarchy, everything's now coming together, and it's bringing back this fun, lightweight emotion that they've had in some of the previous iterations for the design. You know, they talk about the rounded photos, the rounded avatars, the rounded corners, making it clear to see what's being said and who's saying it. I agree with that because it's providing more white space, and it's just easier to disconnect items when there's a little bit more space around them. So one of the new things that you might notice on the new Twitter iOS is where your profile is. It used to be in the bottom tab bar, but now they moved it up to the top left. They say it's to clean up the clutter that was down on the bottom. So now we only have 4 items, which is your main feed, search, notifications, and DMs. So to get to your profile now, you have to click on the top left avatar or just a simple swipe right. In there, you obviously your following, your followers, your moments that you might have created, your lists and settings and privacy and things like that. One of my favorite things is this little night mode toggle, which goes from light interface to dark interface. Not that I probably use it that much, but I do think it's cool. Let's not talk about the QR code thing. So Twitter claims that by moving your profile over here to the left, hidden behind a tap, that it cleans up the clutter. And they say it also makes it easier to use, actually makes it a little bit harder to use in my opinion. I don't make lists. I've only ever made one moment before, and it's really just making it harder for me to get to my profile. One of the main things that bothers me about the new tab bar is that there's only 4 items down there now. I really like 5 items in my tab bar. I know it makes probably no sense, but on all my other apps like Facebook and Instagram, there's 5 icons down on the tab bar, and I just like that consistency. That's something that probably they didn't think about. It is something to not necessarily overlook. I do like the consistency here that it matches the web. So if you roll over your avatar on the web, you have the same information there. So I like the consistency. I do like the look of it. I think it's okay, but I don't see the benefit of taking your avatar, your profile, out of the bottom bar. By the way, while we're on this screen, Twitter, it's broken. So another thing that's a little inconsistent with the iOS app and the desktop is that on iOS, you have tweets and replies, media, and likes all in the same area, the same bar. But on the web, you have tweets and replies, and media, no likes. Where'd the likes go? I mean, they are just right above it, and I don't understand why there's a number for my likes. I have basically 25,000 likes. What does that mean? It's actually kind of disturbing. One of my new favorite things is the tweets updating in real time. I think that's super fun. It's super fun to watch. The numbers are just going crazy. It's really cool. And I really like how it keeps to the whole now instant live, just whole vibe of Twitter. So about the new icons, Twitter says, more intuitive icons make it easier to engage with tweets, especially if you're coming to Twitter for the first time. Example, people thought the reply icon, an arrow, meant to delete or go back to a previous page. We switched to a speech bubble, a symbol most know and love. We also made the icons lighter for more seamless interaction. Okay, can we just talk about the back button thing? I understand why people probably thought it was a back button. On the previous Twitter design, under a tweet, they had the back arrow, which is also a reply arrow, but the way they had it arranged, which was on the far left of a tweet, that's probably why people thought it was a back button, because, it would make sense, right? Maybe if they would have moved it to the right, would have made a lot more sense, and people wouldn't have confused it with a back button and still known that it was a reply button. My problem with the comment bubble or speech bubble is just that. I just called it a comment bubble. I think of that symbol as a comment, not a speech bubble. I think with social networking and everything these days, everyone's using that icon for comments. I just now view that as a commenting thing. So when I look at this tweet and I see that there's a 4 next to this comment bubble, speech bubble, I think There are 4 comments on this tweet. And maybe that's true. Maybe tweets are now comments sometimes instead of just tweets or replies. But I like the mentality that a tweet is just a tweet. It's more of a reply, a reaction to another tweet. So I'll tweet to reply to your tweet, not I'll tweet to comment on your tweet. To me, it seems a little off. And that's probably just me overthinking things. But I look at this now and I see that this tweet has this many comments, which I would like it to see, like, this tweet has this many reactions. I'm curious to hear what you think. Do you prefer this reply icon that we used to have or this new speech bubble icon? And let's talk about the tweet button. One of the things I love about Twitter is that, keeping with their brand, they have the feather icon for their, for tweets. On the desktop, I think they had it there the prior iteration, but now it just says tweet. Very simple, very clean. I actually still like it. I'm just saying it's inconsistent, and I wish they brought back the feather there. I really enjoy that. It's those little details that really make a whole brand stand out. Those little details, like the house, the birdhouse, that's amazing. The feather for the tweet, I think that's genius. But one of the things that stood out to me the most of this new composed tweet screen is something that @Bushan_NYC says, wish @Design had moved the tweet button to the top right instead of placing it so close to the keypad. Okay, this is really interesting. If you don't have the quick type keyboard up, meaning this gray bar that does auto suggestions when you're typing, if you don't have that up, if you're typing around the UIOP area, the tweet button is right there. I mean, you could easily just tap it and send a tweet away. If you do something like a lot of people do, you fire open this hate tweet and then you kind of sit there not really wanting to tweet it yet, maybe thinking about, oh, should I tweet this? You could accidentally just tap that. The tweet button used to be on the top right, which did feel like more work to tweet, which I actually kind of liked because it made it more official. Like, all right, here we go. I want to send this tweet. Right now, it's just so easy to fire off tweets with a tweet button right there. I mean, I do like that it's easier. It's all right here within my thumbs. I don't have to do the reach thing, but I could see a lot of accidental tweets happening. And again, I don't know that that's a bad thing. It sounds like it's a bad thing, but maybe the benefit outweighs the negative. So maybe the benefit to tweet faster outweighs the having to reach over. And I would probably have to agree with that because I do like it. And I have the quick type keyboard open, so I'm not going to do the accidental tweet. And what do you think about that? Do you have the quick type keyboard? I mean, is this bothering you that it's so easy to accidentally tweet? Do you prefer the reach over? I'm really curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Now, here's my theory on why they put the tweet button there. And unfortunately, I think it's because of a compromise. So throughout the app, your avatar is now on the top left, right? And you could easily see which account you're tweeting from right now. You could easily switch accounts. You got drafts right next to that. But the problem is, where are we going to put the close button? You opened it up, where's the close button going to go now, right? So this is where I think the compromise comes into play. The cancel, it used to be a cancel button, so the cancel used to be on the top left. And so now with the avatar stuff that we want to keep consistent, bring forward and allow account switching easily, and a place for drafts, we need to keep that on the left because we can't put that anywhere else here. It just doesn't make sense. It's more consistent if we keep it on the top left. So the X has to go on the top right, which means where's the tweet button going to go? I mean, there's room down there, right? It wouldn't make sense to have the cancel there. It wouldn't be consistent to have the avatar there. So it only makes sense to have the layout the way it is now. I don't know that it's a bad thing. So compromise might not be the right word. It just might have been that that's the best solution for everything, to take in everything into account. I mean, here now you can see which account you're tweeting from. You could easily switch accounts. You get your drafts. However, where in the world are my drafts on the desktop? I mean, I'm on the tweet screen here and I'm on the tweet screen on my desktop. I can see drafts here, but on the desktop, they're nowhere to be found. So my good friend @Gene Ross on Twitter says, how many different border radiuses should we use? How about all of them? Seriously, Twitter, what's going on here? I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different border radiuses, radii. @KimWeen on Twitter says something pretty interesting. She says, they kept the X on photos on the left-hand side while crafting tweets is on the right. So she's talking about this on the iOS. So let's take a look. If you tap new tweet, the interface pops up, it slides up, and you have the X right there in the top right. Now, the reason it's right there is because it's so easy to just keep tapping open, close, open, close, open. It's really there because if you accidentally hit new tweet, not sure why you would, but if you do, the X is right there, easy to close. Or if you happen to, in a rage, oh, I'm gonna tweet this. Never mind. Because you saw the beautiful interfaces, now you don't want to hate tweet anymore. Whatever your reason is for wanting to open and close this, I love that it's right there and easy to do. I don't have to move anything. However, when you tap on an image, the X icon is on the top left. However, just on the new tweet screen, it was on the right. So why is this one on the left? But to add even more to the confusion, whenever you click on a moment, the X is left. But if you tap on the tweet, the X is back on the right. So I really appreciate this update from the @design team. You could tell that they've been thinking about the emotions that the design is putting off, or that Twitter as a whole is putting off. And you could see that, I think that's part of the reason they've done this update to improve on that, because Twitter in the past year or so has become this negative place. And I mean, there's always been the negative side to it, but designing for emotions is actually really important. It's something a lot of designers don't even think about. They just design things and hope it works because of good UX. And that stuff's important too. But when you have a brand, trying to build a brand, especially a fun one like Twitter, you can play on that. And Twitter's doing a great job of doing that. And I actually really appreciate that. I mean, it does make me feel happier using Twitter now. Now, I wish us designers would just do that more often, design for emotion. I feel like we've lost that. Why have we lost that skill set? Now, just to be perfectly honest, overall, I think this is the best improvement yet to Twitter. So to all of you over at Design on the design team, I know these updates are not the things that we keep asking for, like editable tweets. Editable tweet. And of course, one of the things people wanted in the next update is edited tweets, and it's not something I really care about. I mean, maybe just only to help the grammar trolls, maybe give us a 2-minute window or something where we could edit tweets. Other than that, I don't see it as a big deal. It probably would actually ruin the real timeness of Twitter, so I don't really need it.